Hello. Good morning, I think it is still, or maybe afternoon. This is going to be a little bit of a talk and a little bit of a meditation. Sometimes I just really like to get down to the nitty-gritty of things. I really think it's because I just want to live an honest life. I want to be honest with myself, because honesty is one of the easiest ways to be at peace with yourself. And quite often you might find if you feel unwell, which I have been doing recently, there's a reason behind that, and often it's because maybe there's an inner battle going on between yourself, the real you that you want to connect with, and the part of you that thinks it should be like something, or do something, or be somewhere, or be the personality that you've kept up for pretty much most of your life. As I become more awake, I begin to realise that all the stuff that I've been doing to be Anna, be this personality who wants to fit in, who wants to be like everybody else, who wants to be well all the time, who wants to fit in, I think is a really good way to describe how I feel a lot of the time, if I'm being really honest. But since then I realised, hello Bobby, I realised that it's not actually what I want. And once you start to become awake, you realise more and more what you do actually want, because you start to become more honest and more aware of how you really truly feel about life, about yourself, and about everything that's going on around you. So this is a talk about that really. This morning I woke up and I felt really unwell, and for the past few days I've felt really unwell, like I'm coming down with something. Now I know in my head conceptually that it's not possible for me to catch something in the external world. I know it's not possible because there's nothing outside of me. This is what I've been told and this is what I'm learning, but I still have the programming from years and years of listening to the world, the outside world, and generally letting that be what shapes my life. And this morning I had a realisation that truly the things that I'm afraid of are the things that make me unwell. There'd been a social a party organised, and Ori has been invited, my daughter, and I, as usual with all these things, I feel like I should go and be there for her, but I realised for a long time I'd been kind of dreading it really, because I don't feel like myself in social gatherings where people talk about their families and their children, and we sit and watch all the children play. And for me, I've been doing this for years now, and whether it's coming from my ego or not, I don't know, but I just don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy it, and I'm not looking forward to it. I feel like I have to be somewhere I'm not, and so I'm kind of scared of it in the same way as I suppose you might be scared walking into a party. And I always used to be scared of parties, to be honest. When I was a teenager and when I was in my early 20s, I used to go to parties. But I used to dread that first bit where you're not drunk and you have to mingle with everyone and talk to them and think of things to say. And I really don't enjoy that. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. I don't beat myself up about it anymore, and I think people who know me really well understand this about me, but other people aren't okay with it, and it's very difficult to explain that without coming up with some kind of excuse or lie to pretend that stuff is not okay with me. So I came up with, obviously, I'm thinking now that maybe I got ill specifically because I didn't want to go to this party, and it was just like a ding, a little light going on this morning, that I realised. And as soon as I realised that is the truth of it, that actually I don't want to go there and sit and talk for 2 hours with people who I don't really know, and this is, I don't see it as anybody else's problem. I do see it as just an obstacle that I either deal with or I don't. And at the moment, obviously, I don't want to deal with it. But just that little tiny bit of honesty with myself was such a release. It felt like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. Because when you let go of it, it's like you're forgiving yourself. You're forgiving yourself for that thing. The only person who can really forgive you is you. Because you can't explain how you really feel to other people. They're never going to understand you because they're not you. But you can explain it to yourself. And you can do that by being honest with yourself. It's not something that I find difficult, actually. I am, as a person, I've always been very honest, but there's some things that evade me, and that I'm not aware of them, and it is because the fear of dealing with people who I don't know very well, kind of is like a pattern in my behaviour. It's a belief as well that also, because I'm like that, people don't want to talk to me, or people maybe don't like me because they think I'm a bit weird or odd or something, or people think I'm standoffish because I don't want to talk to them. I have that idea in my head. It's already formed there. It's a belief, and obviously that belief makes me afraid. But it never lasts for long. All these things come and go, and it'll probably come up again in some other situation. Basically, I've managed to find a solution to it by dropping her off and then going to pick her up again later on. But I still feel guilty about it, because I feel like maybe I should be there for her, since other mums will probably be there and other dads will probably be there. But I understand that this is my own personal problem with it. Perhaps other people wouldn't have that problem. So honesty, yeah. Can we be honest with ourselves? Can we truly go within and ask what it is that's bothering us, that's disturbing us, when we feel ill? Because in the body can be transformed. I've discovered this recently, that when you really do get to the bottom, and underneath that issue, you see the belief, you see the pattern, you see what's going on, what you're doing, how you're doing it, and why you're doing it. When you see all of that, and then you forgive it, this is truth. This is truth. It almost doesn't matter what you do that needs to be forgiven. It doesn't matter, because every time you do that, you're letting it go. You're letting the whole thing go. And really, in life, once you start to awaken, there's kind of nothing else to do. It's a process of letting everything that you thought was true go, because it's not actually true. And you realise the truth within you more and more the more that you connect with Source. The more that you ask for Source, the more that you ask for these things to be shown to you. Especially if you're someone like me who suffers all the time with chronic illnesses. Chronic illness is like a pattern. There's some kind of pattern of behaviour that you haven't found yet. And one key way of bringing it to the surface is just by going in constantly and connecting with Source, meditating, and asking for whatever it is to be brought to the surface, so that you can look at it and then forgive it and heal it and let it go. So I'm just going to do some breathing now and ask Spirit to connect with everyone and everything, and ask for healing, to help people really connect with the truth of themselves, and to see that it's always there, whether you realise it or not. The truth is always there, just waiting for you to connect with it. All you have to do is breathe. Connect with that part of you, the deepest part, which is the heart of you. That knows everything. It knows you so deeply that it knows there's nothing to forgive. It's just your own pattern inside your head that you want to reverse. So that's all you're doing. You're just reversing what you've created, so that you can get back into balance, in the right path. And the more that you practice connecting with breath, because breath is one really good way to feel that you're alive, to feel life, to feel what you are. Life is through breath, and breath is life. When you connect with breath, you connect with the part of you that is life. When you ignore your breathing, it's almost like you're going towards death, to put it bluntly. So breath is always really important. So just now I'm going to do a little bit of just gentle breathing, connecting with all that is. I'm saying to Spirit and the whole world, can we connect with our truth through honesty, and trust that honesty is the only way to peace. Without honesty, there's no peace. because there's always conflict. There's always an inner battle going on. And when we see the truth of ourselves, we see that the answer is only ever the truth. The truth is what we are. And when we see what we are, we can forgive ourselves, because we see that everyone, maybe in different ways to what we have, but everyone has this in them. The ability to choose something other than the truth of what they are. To choose to be dishonest because of fear. Because that's what they think they should do. And when we realise that this in ourselves, when we realise that everyone has this, then it becomes easier to forgive ourselves and everyone and everything.